This is awful discouraging.
I had that for 50 years. Congratulations. Yes, I did.
That Iowa soybean farmer says we could be headed for another farm crisis after China halted purchases of U.S. soybeans. China's boycotting the product as retaliation against new tariffs imposed by President Trump.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So farmers in Iowa, they're struggling. And I've shown you farmers in Arkansas and farmers all over the U.S. They're struggling as a result of tariffs. And I'm going to show you a clip of a farmer who actually voted for Trump and now is looking at bankruptcy as a result of his vote. So we're going to take a look at that in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so let's go ahead and play the clip and then we'll talk a little bit about it. Here we go.
And KCCI senior reporter Todd Magel talked with a veteran soybean farmer who says they're in big trouble.
It's just about time to harvest the soybeans here in Osceola, but the problem now is finding a place to sell those beans. Warren Bachman has been growing corn and soybeans just west of Osceola for 64 years. China bought 60% of the soybeans that Iowa exported. He says
60%. The majority of soybeans was going to China prior to tariffs.
China's decision to stop buying U.S. soybeans is catastrophic.
This is awful discouraging. You know, we do our very best to grow a good crop to feed the world, and then we can't hardly give it away.
Bachman blames President Trump for the soybean crisis, even though he voted for him. He says new tariffs are forcing China.
And you hear this, you're hearing this over and over. These farmers voted for Trump, and now they're finding out that they might be going bankrupt as a result of Trump's actions. Because remember, this is executive orders, these tariffs, you know, that they're putting on other countries. This is coming from the president. This is not Congress passing legislation or anything like this. This is coming from the president. And they're struggling now, but they voted for Trump. So they actually voted for bankrupting their own industry.
They had to buy soybeans from Argentina and Brazil. Now many Iowa farmers face selling this year's crop at a huge loss.
The way things are, there won't be a farmer left in 5 years if things don't change because our expenses are so high and the crop is worth less than it was 30 years ago.
Bachman survived the farm crisis during the 1980s. It led to thousands of farm foreclosures. If the federal government offers crop payments to help farmers, Bachman says he'll say no thanks.
We would a lot rather have free markets than a handout.
And he's talking about free markets, but President Trump, when he ran, before he became president, and we even go back the first time there were tariffs imposed on other countries, and they retaliated by not buying soybeans. And so you had farmers back in 2018 that were struggling, and he was probably struggling along with them back then if he was selling soybean. And so fast forward now, we're in 2025, and in 2024, he voted for Trump again, knowing that Trump was talking about tariffs this whole time. And so, I mean, you almost, I don't want to see industries fall, and I don't want to see farmers go bankrupt, but some of these farmers, they brought it on themselves. They knew what was going to happen. They voted for President Trump anyway, and guess what? It's happening. Exactly what they thought was going to happen is happening. And so how do you guys feel about that? Actions have consequences, and this is an action that he took, and this is the consequence as a result of that action. And so the free market that he's talking about, that's probably, we're not going to see China buying more soybean from the U.S. for a long time. And we might not see them come back to the U.S. at all because now they can buy from Brazil. Now they can buy from Argentina. They have other options. They don't have to buy from the U.S.
Bachman recently asked Iowa Senator Charles Grassley for help with those free markets.
I told him that the 1980s farm crisis is going to look like a picnic compared to today if things don't change and change fast.
Now U.S. farmers are looking for more markets to sell their soybeans like biodiesel here in this country, but that could lead to fewer soybeans being planted next year. In Osceola, Todd Magel, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Now, President Trump talked about the impact of tariffs during a meeting with the president of Turkey this afternoon. He says right now farmers may be struggling, but tariffs will eventually work in their favor, and that until then, the country will give some revenue back to farmers.
So we're going to make sure that our farmers are in great shape because we're taking in a lot of money. Ultimately, the farmers are going to be making a fortune, but it's a process of it has to kick in.
The president did not say how the money would be distributed to farmers or when the relief would be provided. Field work for soybean harvest is just beginning in parts of our state. The latest crop report shows 62% of soybeans were dropping leaves. That's one of the final growth stages. It's about 2 days ahead of last year's schedule. The report shows nearly 75% of soybeans are rated or in good or excellent condition.
Okay, so there you heard the president there talking about the help is on the way, basically. Didn't really go into any details of how they're going to roll this out, but he's saying the money will come from the tariff revenue that they're collecting right now. So we'll have to see. We'll have to follow that and see where that goes. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how people in Iowa react to this in the 2026 midterm election, because you do have farmers that are struggling. People are going to be struggling as a result of this. Jobs are going to be lost if you see some of these farms go out of business. So how are they going to react to this? In the Senate race, we have a Senate race that's an open seat. So you have Joni Ernst, who's the incumbent, but she's not running. She's retiring. And I think one of the reasons why she's retiring is because she sees this. She sees what's going on, and she realizes that it's going to be hard for her to win re-election. And that's why she's going to retire. And so now you have an open seat in Iowa. And will the Democrat be able to convince the people in Iowa, look, we need change. This is not working. And I heard Senator Grassley in an interview, and Senator Grassley is a senator in Iowa, really going after Trump as a result of tariffs and as a result of what it's doing to these farms.
We've got this farm crisis now, and this president should deal with this farm crisis right now. I'm hearing from bankers. I'm hearing from people that are getting pressed by their bankers to maybe sell part of their farm. So they wanted to sell to somebody that when they build up their equity, they might be able to buy it back. We haven't had this kind of stress in agriculture since the 1980s, putting 50% tariffs on things that have steel in them when you can't buy those things in the United States and you need them for your tractor to be finally manufactured. There shouldn't be tariffs on things that you can't get in the United States. Why drive up the price of John Deere's because of a tariff on something they need for the tractor that they can't even get in the United States? It's a stupid policy.
So we'll have to see what happens in the future, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So we're looking at different parts of the U.S. We're looking at grocery prices. We're looking at the farm crisis all over the U.S. And it's not getting any better. I want to know what you guys think. What has been your experience? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.